Today, we're here to announce some very important news. When I ran for the position of mayor, I always told you that we would have transparency in the city of Harrisburg, and today is just the beginning. I am tough on crime, and that's one of the areas that I really want to focus on. And if the criminals out here think that we are going to allow them to do things in the city of Harrisburg without taking any action, they are wrong. So today, please, I'm joined with my Commissioner Carter and Captain Willie.
Thank you. I'm not going to get into what actually transpired, how the officers, Uniform Patrol, CID, the Amtrak police and everybody did an excellent job. Captain Williams is going to explain that to you. I just want to introduce Captain Terry Williams of CID, Atal Martin, Uniform Patrol Division, and my Deputy Chief, Dennis Sorensen. We stand before you to let you know just what happened and how the arrest of said suspect was made. Captain Wheelan.
Thank you, Commissioner. Madam Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are going to get sick of looking at me this week. It's only, what, day 2 and out of 3 days. I wish I could stand here and say I'm happy about what I'm about to say, but I'm not. The sad fact is a gentleman named Kenneth Cobb lost his life as a result of this incident. And I ask you, please don't lose any sight of that. Taking it back to Sunday, March 27th to 22, about 26 hours, the Harrisburg Police Patrol units were dispatched to the Amtrak train station in reference to shots being fired at that location. Upon arrival, they discovered an adult male with gunshot wounds in a taxi cab. The victim was subsequently transported to a local hospital where, unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries. The victim was identified as Kenneth Cobb. I said it before, his date of birth is 5/6 of 1962. Very active and thorough investigation by Detective Dawson, our lead investigator in this case, and our team of detectives and forensics investigators led to the arrest of the perpetrator of this homicide. On Wednesday, March 30th, 2022, at about 15:45 hours, Harrisburg police detectives and investigators, as well as members of the Dauphin County Crisis Response Team, went to a residence in the 1200 block of Derry Street in order to serve a search warrant in reference to this incident. The fruits of that search warrant led to the arrest of Hezekiah Campbell, date of birth 4/1 of 1995. I'll spell his name. It's Hezekiah, Hezekiah, Campbell, Campbell. Again, 4/1 of 1995 is his date of birth. Mr. Campbell's charged with criminal homicide and firearms not to be carried without a license. He was transported to the Dauphin County booking last night where he was arraigned on these charges. A significant step towards gaining closure for Mr. Cobb's family was brought forth by the combined efforts of the Harrisburg Police Uniform Patrol Division, as well as the Criminal Investigation Division, Harrisburg Police, the Amtrak Police, the Dauphin County Crisis Response Team, and the Dauphin County District Attorney's Office. Anyone with further information about this case is asked to contact Dauphin County Dispatch at 717-558-6900 and ask for the city police, or they can contact Detective Ian Dawson at 717-255-3187. Detective Dawson can also be emailed at ldawson@harrisburgpa.gov. Tips can also be submitted through our Crime Watch portal. These tips can be anonymous. In reference to the other cases that we've been talking about here in the recent past, the homicide cases from 28 South 16th Street on March 13th of this year, as well as South 17th and Zarker Streets on March 16th of this year, are both being actively investigated as we speak. Anyone with information about those cases is encouraged to call 717-558-6905, rather 6900, and ask for a city detective. Anonymous tips can also be submitted in reference to those cases through our Crime Watch portal. Thank you.
We have questions?
I did want to see if you have any update on what the motive might have been in this case. And I saw in the affidavit that he had a notebook and he had admitted to shooting Mr. Cobb in that notebook. And he had maybe alluded to killing somebody else. Is he being investigated for any other crimes? And then again, is there a motive in this one?
Thank you. As far as the notebook, that is mentioned in the probable cause affidavit. I'm gonna let that document stand as it is, if that's what it says, which it does. then that's the way that it is. As far as Mr. Campbell being investigated for other crimes, obviously, if there's something like that we have to look into, then that's our job. So we're absolutely going to look into that, whether it's confirmed or if there's an exoneration or something like that about another murder that may have taken place, then, we'll obviously do that as well. The other part of your question,
I think you answered it.
you talk about motive.
Oh, motive, yeah.
We haven't established any of that at this point.
Okay. And so then Monday when we were here, you said it was targeted. Like, can you talk about what that exactly means in this case then? Because it seems like he just walked up and shot him and it was a very senseless crime.
Right. Without getting into all the aspects of what transpired here, I don't want to contaminate anything that we've already done, the solid work up until this point. When we spoke about this earlier this week, it did seem like it was a targeted incident. If you have somebody that's seated in a cab and somebody else comes and walks up to them, I would say that's pretty much, and starts shooting, I would say that's a targeted incident. As far as what's transpired now over the last 96 hours or so, 72 hours rather, we've developed a couple of theories, but I'd be speaking out of context if I would go down that road. Is that fair enough?
Has Campbell been cooperative with detectives? Has he even admitted to anything, that any of the evidence that you guys have gathered?
I'll say he was taken into custody without incident, and I'll let it at that.
And as far as that notebook goes, did he admit to the things that you had written in there? Or
Again,
did he admit that it happened?
I don't want to go too far into the notebook because we're still trying to examine that and process exactly what's in it.
One more question.
Taylor.
Do you know if Campbell was either coming from using the trains or using a cab service that night?
No, I don't.
Okay, one more question.
As far as the motive, do you still think it was targeted? You said you had thought it was.
We're gonna have to work through that and process it. At the end of the day, just my personal feeling on it, does it matter if it was or not? That may seem like a pretty bold question, but at the end of the day, the facts are still the facts. So, as far as it being targeted or something like that, we just need to process through that before I'm willing to comment.
Okay,
All right?
okay.
Thank you.
Just want to thank everyone, and as we get more information, we'll certainly be in contact with you all. Thank you.